This is the 2025 Honda Odyssey Sport L, and in today's Vehicle Visionary video, I'm going to tell you the advantages that the Odyssey has over the competition and also why functionality wins out over technology when it comes to the Odyssey. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're back at Holmes Honda in Shreveport, Louisiana to go over the specifics on this Sonic Gray with a black interior Odyssey. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. And the reason I talk about functionality winning out over technology, well, some of you may already understand what I'm saying, and that has to do with the fact that the Odyssey has not had a full redesign for quite a few years. And there's no word at this point in time when that will change. I'm not going to speculate on that. I'm not going to say anything about when I think that might happen until Honda puts out an official press release. And there isn't one as of July of 2025. But let's see what you can find if this is something you're interested in buying right now. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, also LED fog lights. The thing I wonder about is why don't we also have LED turn signal indicators? Although maybe not that big of a deal for most people, but they're still halogen bulbs. What do you think about that? I'm always curious to know. Honda sensing is going to be standard across all trim levels, and that's going to include adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, lane keeping assist, road departure mitigation, and traffic jam assist. Only available in front wheel drive. So that's one thing that I am curious to know. How important is that to you? In this case, we're going to have the 19-inch gloss black wheels here on the Sport L trim level. Now the side view mirrors are power adjustable, manually folding. They're going to have the turn signal indicators built in. They're also heated. But you might wonder, where is the blind spot monitoring? Well, it's here, but it's not built into the side view mirrors. It's actually right here. Do you prefer this over having it built into the side view mirrors? I'm always curious to know about that. You have your power sliding side doors. That's going to make everything nice and easy. A lot of versatility here. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying, Tom, I want a hybrid powertrain for the Honda Odyssey. I understand, but here's one thing. While that is not an available option right now, if you go hybrid and you keep your Odyssey long enough to the point where you need to replace the battery, it's going to cost a lot more than what it would cost here with the conventional style battery that this model has. It's going to be powered by the 3.5 liter V6, naturally aspirated for those who don't want a turbocharger, and it makes 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque, mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. How about our MPGs? 19 city, 28 highway, 22 combined, and 4.5 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. One thing you'll notice as well with the Honda Pilot and the Honda Passport that have had changes since 2023, you have the 2026 Passport fully redesigned, is they have an 18.5 gallon gas tank. For those of you that are fans of the 19.5 gallon gas tank, that's something you can still find here on the Odyssey. On a single tank of gas with this Odyssey, you should be able to drive about 370 miles in the city and 546 miles out on the highway. And while those are not guaranteed numbers, there's a lot of variables that factor into achieving those numbers. You might be able to go a little bit higher than that, you might be a little bit lower, but that is basically what Honda gives us as far as that information goes. There are 3 different ways to gain access to your cargo area. The button on the tailgate itself, the button on the remote, there's also a button on the interior. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that button down. That's all I have to do is just hold it down like that to open the cargo area. And here is the information on your cargo space. 32.8 to 38.6 to 86.6 to 91 cubic feet. Maximized, we're looking at 140.7 to 155.8 cubic feet. That's a lot of space. Now you might notice that the tailgate is kind of low. How do you fix that? Very easy. You'll notice right here above the button it says hold to set height, so we're going to move that up just like that. We're going to hold that button down and listen for the beeps. When you hear those final 2 beeps, then it has been reset, and that means that when we open it back up here in just a second, you will find out that it goes to where we preset it. Pretty easy to deal with. You don't have to go into your infotainment screen, into your center screen or anything like that to change the height. Now there are some big advantages here. Number one, you have this area right here. When these rear seats are not stowed away down here, you can use that for additional cargo space. That's very nice to have. You also have some space here on each side. We also have a 12-volt power outlet right there, and there is some of the other space. Something else that I know a lot of people like to know about is recline. Can you recline the seats? Yes, you can. Not only these seats, but the outboard seats as well. You can also recline the middle seat in that middle row. Now, you have your instructions here for your stowing magic seats back here that show you exactly how to do this. It's pretty easy to deal with, as you can see right there. And let's see, I don't know if I can do this one one-handed, but we'll find out. No, I can't. But all we're gonna do is fold those down. So there's one of your options as far as your cargo space goes. Something that you won't find with other minivans. While you can move the seats back and forth, say with the Kia Carnival, the advantage here is that when we take the middle seat out, we can move these seats back and forth like this, each one individually, but we can also remove all three. You can see that I've removed the middle seat from the middle row. We're gonna go right here. In fact, I'll show you. Here's the release right here. So you grab that release, you pull up on that, and here's what it allows you to do, to move these seats back and forth on the tracks like that. As I was saying, you can move them back and forth like this. You may not be able to move them this way, but to me, this is more practical. What do you think? Here's how things will look with 2 of the 3 seats out. Here's how everything looks once all of the seats have been removed from the middle row and the rear seats have been stowed. Now, a question I often receive is, can you remove all of these pieces right here and make the floor completely flat? While you can remove them, the floor would not be completely flat. You would have some components exposed that are underneath that area. So it's better to just leave it like this. But the big advantage here is that you can use this for hauling cargo. You could actually outfit this area in the rear where you could potentially use this as some kind of a work van, whatever the case is. And if you're wondering where the spare tire is located, I have a video on exactly how this works and where it's located and all that good stuff, how to get it in and out. It's underneath this area of the floor. Maybe not the best design, but based on the way the Odyssey is built, it was the best option. And here's the proof of the reclining seats in the middle row. But as I mentioned, the outboard seats are the only ones that slide back and forth. The middle seat does not slide back and forth in any direction, just so you know how that works. To gain access to the 3rd row, we just pull on this lever and slide the seat out of the way. Now, you do have a decent amount of leg room back here, but these seats can move forward. The outboard seats, once again, can slide forward to increase leg space a little bit more, and you'll see a couple of USB ports right there, cup holders and air conditioning vents. We'll have another 12-volt power outlet on this side. The one thing that would be helpful in brightening up the interior would be the addition of LED interior lighting. There are rear seat pockets on the back of the 2nd row seats, and to get out of the 3rd row, just pull on the release right there for your 3rd row passengers, push the seat back up and out of the way. Or if somebody has a hand that will fit, they can also reach up and use this handle. And there are rear seat pockets on the back of the front seats, 2 for the middle row passengers, and quite a few cup holders. We have some cup holders on the rear of the center console, also some connectivity down there, as you can see, the USB ports, and 3 more cup holders right here with a little bit of space behind that. Now, the one thing here that can be used as an armrest when this seat back is folded down on the middle seat, but it's kind of low. But you know what? It works. If it was higher up, obviously that would protrude into the 3rd row and take away space for those passengers. And the controls for the 3rd zone of climate control are right there above the door. And here's something that I believe will make a lot of people very happy as far as the front passenger seat goes, and that is the presence of lumbar support. Now, you can't raise and lower the height of the seat, but everything else is here. On this Odyssey Sport L, the sticker price is $45,275. Let's see what else you get for that price. The door bends, Plenty of space, a couple of cup holders in the upper door bin right there, and nice large armrests. Now you still have the armrests built into the seats right here, but they are here. You can say that's better than having no armrest at all. Some people may prefer that style. And something I didn't talk about earlier is the presence of a sunroof. It is a conventional size. It will tilt and slide open. You control that functionality right here on the upper console. And not only do you have a sunglass holder, you also have the conversation mirror, so you can have a conversation when you're not driving down the road with whoever's in the back seat. You also have the sunglass holder right there. And we'll have a little bit of storage space here within the glove box and the pass-through right here. This area is very convenient for whatever anybody wants to put here and whatever will fit. A couple of USB ports and another 12-volt power outlet. Quite a few 12-volt power outlets throughout the interior. And we'll find seat memory on the driver's side. We can open and close our power sliding side doors. The power tailgate back there, and traction control can be turned off or back on right there. And you'll have the conventional controls for your side view mirrors, lock and unlock for your doors and windows. You can lock all the windows or unlock them and control the windows here. We'll also find that this is an adjustable steering wheel. Drop the lever right there. It's tilt and telescopically adjustable. One of the changes for 25 was to the design of the steering wheel. The same functionality is still here, including adaptive cruise control. And I didn't mention it earlier in the video, but you have Honda sensing. That's going to be standard across all trim levels. That's adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, lane keeping assist, and road departure mitigation. Here is your driver's display. A nice modern look to that. If we need to, we can push the home button right there and use the scroll wheel to go through whatever needs to be seen, or whatever's available at least to be seen. Over here on the left-hand side of the driver's display, you can see what all is there. You do have a built-in compass, which is nice. I know a lot of people like to see that on their vehicles. And the 9-inch touchscreen. Very easy to use, very easy to learn if you haven't had something like this. You even have cabin talk right there where you can talk to everybody in the cabin, even if they don't want you to. That's an interesting thing to have. We'll go back and show you one more thing here. I'm going to hold this icon down, and you'll notice that you can move things around if you want to. So if you're not happy with the layout of the screen, then you can change that so you can see what's going on there. When we go into vehicle settings right here, we see all of the different settings. If your power tailgate is not opening, right there is where you need to go to make sure that it's turned on. The keyless open mode is on right here. We can go in and have any time or when unlocked. So there's a lot here, but don't let that scare you off. It's not complicated. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone and use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, as you can see on the screen. And we have the multi-view rear view camera. 3 different views as far as that goes. But it's easy to deal with, easy to learn, no problems where all of this technology is concerned. No matter what Honda model you go with, whether it's new or maybe a little bit older, kind of like what we have here, it's still simple to deal with. There's your button for turning the radio on and off and adjusting the volume, and you can see your AC controls right here. Always nice to see vehicles that have physical controls for the AC. You adjust your temperature here for your dual zone climate control. You can also adjust the rear, that third zone, if you need to, from the driver's seat. Now, something that I know is not as popular with people is what we have right here, the push-button shifter. Tell me what you think. What is your preference where that is concerned? You do have heated seats for the driver and the passenger. We don't need that today, that's for sure. Way too warm. You can turn the idle stop or the auto stop start feature on or off right there, depending on your personal preference. Snow mode, econ mode. You'll notice the D and the S right here. That's going to be drive and sport. So those are your different driving modes. We also find the cup holders, and something that I know a lot of you will also like having here, the wireless charging pad. And then we have space within the center console. The Odyssey is enjoyable to drive. I like that it's very easy to see out of. Out of the back window, out of the windows all around. Now, it would be nice to maybe have a rear view camera mirror if you had a person or a large piece of cargo back there that was obstructing your view, but I know a lot of us can drive with our side view mirrors to the point to where that's not even necessary. So no big deal where that's concerned. Depending on your situation, you should be just fine. Overall, it is very easy to see out of. The driver's seat is comfortable. Now, I can't tell you what it's like to ride in the second or the third row, because obviously I can't do that at the moment. Some of you can tell us down in the comments, what is that experience like, or what kind of feedback have you received from your passengers in the second and third row of the Odyssey? Always curious to know about that. Very easy to adjust everything to be comfortable here for the driver's seat, between the seat itself and the steering wheel. Easily adjustable. No matter your height, you should be able to sit here and be just fine, especially considering the fact that you can raise and lower the height of the seat. That's always helpful. And everything is very easy to get to. Having a lot of physical controls is useful because eventually you'll remember where that stuff is. Air conditioning, whatever you need to get to down here, and you don't even have to look. That is helpful. In the future, if the day comes that we see a full redesign of the Odyssey, it would be nice to see multiple camera views added, such as what we can have on some of the upper trim levels with the Honda Pilot and the Honda Passport. That is always an advantage. But another thing to keep in mind with all of that, because I know a lot of you ask about things like that, but here's the thing: are you willing to pay the extra money that it would take to have those features and things such as a hybrid powertrain? But overall, I'd say it's a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. Hopefully in the future we'll see a few changes come along that maybe increase towing capacity and different things like that. But for now, the one thing that I look at with the Odyssey is the fact that while you may not have the latest and greatest in technology, it hasn't been fully redesigned in quite a few years, it's still gonna perform its duties. It's still functional. It still gets the job done of hauling around your family, hauling around cargo, whatever it is you need to do. It's going to do that, minus the latest and greatest in technology, a larger screen, whatever the case is with that sort of thing. But tell me down in the comments section, what would you like to see change in the future? Maybe your top 3 most important changes or additions for the Odyssey if we see Honda redesign it. Hopefully that will happen. I don't know for sure what's coming for 2026. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there has been no official information released from Honda. If that comes, I'll put out a video. There are videos out there at the moment that are touting major changes, but a lot of you are savvy enough to know that those are simply AI videos. So we'll just have to see what the future holds. And there it is, the 2025 Honda Odyssey in the Sport L trim level. Offers a lot of advantages that you won't find with the competition. Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this Odyssey for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Please share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.